Hello, so this is Newbie's Newbie Guide to Debian by Helen Koike. Welcome to Debian.
Thank you very much. So I started working on Debian not so long time ago, and I found some interesting points in the way, and I hope to help other newbies to get started in the community. So this is our roadmap, so I'm going to talk a little bit about the organization of Debian, the foundation documents that guides the principles of the community, the release, the community workflow, the bugging tracking system, how to contribute, and a little bit about Debian and Ubuntu. Okay, so the first version of Debian was released in 1993 by Ian Murdoch. The name came from a composition from his girlfriend at the time, Deborah, and his own name, Ian, so Debian. There are current 10 official architectures supported by the project, so AMD64, ARM64, ARM-AL, ARM-HF, i386, MIPS-AL, PowerPC, PowerPC64AL, and S390X. So there are over 6,000 packages in the stable release, counting if we consider the main section, the contribute section, and also the non-free section, which we are going to talk more later. There are around 1,000 official developers, and it's all free software. The organization of the Debian community is pretty much democratic, so the project leader is elected once a year by the Debian developers. The group is composed by 100% volunteers, even the project leader, and there are working groups that we call teams. For example, the DSA, the Debian System Administrators, that take care of the machines, the servers, the FTP masters that take care of the FTP master servers, which packages go inside the Debian servers, the release teams that coordinates how the release process goes, the Debian CD, the security team, the quality assurance teams that take care of the bugging tracking system, other things related to the mentors, to the maintainers, and we can see if you go to this website, there's a bigger list of the other teams and a description of what they do. Okay, so when I mean 100% volunteers is that there is no profit organization behind Debian, which is a little bit different from Ubuntu or Fedora, where you have Canonical and Red Hat leading a bit the project. But who owns, so Debian have machines, trademark, logos, and who owns all those things are actually sponsors. And the main sponsor for Debian is the Software and the Public Interest, SPI, which is a non-profit organization founded in 1997, first to receive donations for the Debian project, but now the SPI is also a sponsor for other projects, and it's not the only sponsor for the Debian project. Okay, so the foundation documents are documents that describe the principles and guidelines for the community. So there are three main documents. So the Debian social contract that describes the moral principles, the Debian free software guidelines, or DFSG, that describe what exactly free means to Debian, and the Debian Constitution, which describes how the community is organized. So the Debian social contract defines 5 points. The first one is Debian will remain 100% free. The second one, we will give back to the free software community. It means that if we find bugs, we are not going only to fix them in Debian, we are going to report bugs back to the original author of the software we are packaging. The third one is that we will not hide problems, so the bugging tracking system is there, available for everyone to see. The fourth one, our priorities are our users and free software. And the fifth is work that's not, that do not meet our free software standards. It means that even so Debian is 100% free and there is a guideline for what free means, we acknowledge that the people sometimes need to use some software that doesn't follow the rules. So we offer infrastructure for this kind of software. So the Debian Free Software Guidelines is actually part of the social contract, and it describes what free means. So free means you can free redistribute the software. There is the source code available. You can make derived works. There's no discrimination against a person or group or fields or endeavor. You cannot say this software cannot be used in Montreal, for example. And the license must not be specific to Debian, and also must not contaminate other software, for example, imposing some restrictions and other software distributed with the package. And examples about what is considered free by the community are the license, are GPL, BSD, and artistic. And the Debian Constitution is a document that describes the organizational structure and decision-making process of the community. So even if the project is composed by 100% volunteers, it doesn't mean that it doesn't have an organization and a hierarchical structure. So there's a definition of what is a developer, a Debian developer, what these developers can do. They can vote for the project leader. They can be a candidate for the project leader. They can overrule project leader decision by voting in general and amendments for the social code or general resolutions. There's a project leader, the technical committee and its chair that are there for solving technical conflicts or providing advice for developers. The delegates appointed by the project leader for specific tasks, the project secretary that coordinates the voting system and also can stand in for the project leader with the chair when the project leader is not there. And these documents defines all these powers, the compositions, the appointments, how they work, and the procedures, and the Debian community. And you can check more information in this link there. Okay, so package and release, community workflow. But what is a distribution? After all, we always say that Debian is a Linux distribution. So basically, we can see that a distribution is just your root FS, your / folder there, that is a set of files and folders in the right place. And the Linux kernel basically just assumes that you have this file and there is /sbin/init that the Linux kernel will execute when your system boots to initialize user space. And so basically, Linux distribution will have this file there, and it is a set of programs with paths well solved between the programs, so the programs can find each other, find the libraries, find the dependencies. So basically, this is a distribution, and probably the distribution will also offer will also have a package format definition. So what is a package? So a package is just what we call the upstream software, which is someone has a source code and GitHub, for example. It's a generic, not just for Debian. And some Debian developer get this software and attach some metadata around the software. So it can be read by a tool called, for example, in Debian, DPKG, that can interpret this metadata and know how to compile this software, how to install it in your system. And you can have different kind of packaging. You can have packaged by source code, so it will know how to compile, for example, from source code, or a binary package. Maybe, I think most of you already saw the .debian files that are binary packaged to distribute compiled files. So, and also a distribution will probably also offer an infrastructure to host repositories for packages. So there are servers and mirrors where you can download your several packages from it and install in your system. And it will probably offer a package manager as the apt and Debian that it will just keep track of the versions that you installed. It will know the dependencies and solve the dependencies for you. It will download all of this from the servers. It will keep track of which package you installed, know how to uninstall it, and so on. Right, so in a point of view, everything is a package. So Debian is actually a set of packages. Every file in your Debian system is associated with a package. And basically, you can see that the community workflow is only there to do package management, in short. And for example, installation CDs or images are just a tool that helps you to install and configure a set of packages for you, a set of core packages for you, so you will have a working system. So we can divide the community workflow in a microdynamic and a macrodynamic. So the microdynamic is just a per package management. So you have the maintainers and or a team taking care of a single package, for example, and they will review the patches people send to this package, do some updates, test the specific package, apply bug fixes, or follow bug reports. And it's a really inside the package management in the package. And we can also see a macro dynamic that basically consists in controlling all the repositories that the packages are in, so which packages go in the repositories, to which repositories, who have access to the repositories, coordinate the releases, coordinate the servers, the licensing, if everything is according to the DFSG, the Debian Free Software Guidelines. And also, you could install a Debian system by hand by getting package per package and put in your system, but usually you won't do that. You can use some tools like the Debian CD or VM Bootstrap that will help you to create images for your virtual machine or a live CD, for example. Okay, right, so release. So the name of the release are based on the Toy Story characters. So there are three main releases, or you can see as Debian versions. So there is the unstable release called seed, the testing, which is the current buster and the future Debian 10, stable, which is the current stretch, and that is the Debian 9. One interesting thing is that, well, the unstable have package that was not well tested yet. It's under development. So the seed was that boy and Toy Story that keeps breaking the toy, so it's kind of appropriated. And also seed, you can read that it's still in development. So it's quite an appropriate name for the unstable release. And you can view each one of these releases as a repository or a pool of packages. So when you install, for example, the testing, so we are actually using all the package under the testing repository or in this pool of packages. And these three are not the only repositories in Debian. You can also have experimental, old stable, and backpart that we are going to talk in the next slides. So as I mentioned, you can install specific Debian version, for example, the testing, which is Buster, by downloading the installation CD and use the CD to install in your system, or you can just go and modify this file, the /etc/apt/source.list, and there usually you'll find at least these two lines, one for a repository to download already compiled package, which starts with deb, and another for debian./source. And you can define right here, you see stretch, that you can define where you are going to fetch your package from. So next time, when you type apt-get update, it will fetch information from the new repository. And then apt-get upgrade, it will upgrade your package from this repository. And if you type apt-get source hello, it will download the source code from the stretch repository. And apt-get install hello, it will install the hello package from this repository. So this is the syntax of the source.list. So here there is a directive if you are referring to a binary or source code, the mirror address, and the release. You can use stable, JSC, unstable, testing here in this position. And here is the sections that we are going to talk about in a minute. So main, contrib, and no free. Right, so the sections. Main. In this, a section is a little section inside the repository. And the main section contains packages that are DFSG, Debian Free Software Guideline compliant package. And all its dependencies are also DFSG compliant. So they are contained inside main. So main is self-contained. And contrib are packages that are DFSG compliant, but some dependencies are not. And non-free are packages that are not DFSG compliant, and actually, they are not considered part of Debian. But even so, as we saw in the 50th point of the social contract, infrastructure is provided by to this kind of package. And if you just want to run packages that are DFSG compliant, you can just go back to your source.list file and remove the contrib and non-free from this file. Okay, so how the package cycles goes. So a Debian developer usually decides to do some packaging to port software to work in Debian. So it do the packaging and upload its work into the unstable repository first. If the package is not completed yet, it can upload to experimental, so it can the developer can request for help from other developers, for example. And when it goes into unstable, it will automatically migrate to testing after some conditions that we're going to see. And then testing is promoted to stable by the release manager. This picture is from a book called the Debian Administration Handbook. It's a really nice book to read. So it's a little bit small, but I'm going to try to describe this. So there's the upstream author, let's say the author of GNOME, for example. And the author does a new release version. So the Debian developer responsible for packaging the GNOME for Debian go there and prepare the packaging for this new release. Then it sends the source package and at least a single binary package for AMD64. So the Debian developer uploads it to the unstable repository first. There are some auto builders machines that will fetch the source package from the unstable and build all the other binary package to the other supported architectures. And then it will go to the process that we described in the previous slide. This is a specific server called ftp-master.debian.org that hosts all distribution and all the original Debian package. Then this server here will push all this package to the mirrors. And when the user type in his computer apt-get install GNOME, it will fetch GNOME from one of the mirrors. So how exactly a package goes inside Unstable? A package is accepted by the FTP master. The FTP master are the team, the Debian team, which are responsible for the server here. And oops. So a Debian developer first submit a package to the FTP master, and they can accept your package or reject it because there are license issues or a missing copyright or package hijacking. Package hijacking is usually a package is associated with a maintainer or a team responsible for that package, and if you just go there and do some package without the maintainer's knowledge and upload it and send it to the FTP masters, this is not considered cool, and they reject it. Irregular package naming, if not according to the expected format, or if no source code is available when you send the package. So how a package goes from the unstable repository to the testing repository? So it happens automatically if the package stays in the stable repository for at least 10 days without any non-critical bugs, and it was compiled successfully in all official architectures, and all its dependencies are also present in testing, in the testing repository. And the testing to stable, so once every 2 years, the testing is promoted to stable and by the release manager that coordinates this process. And how this process goes is that testing is gradually freezed. So there is first a transition freeze that no libraries transition are accepted. And then a software freeze that no new packages are accepted. And then a full freeze that only critical bugs are accepted. So for example, for the release of the stretch version, Debian 9, in November last year, we had the transition freeze. In January, the soft freeze, where no new packages were accepted, and in February, a full freeze. And only in June, we had the initial release of Debian 9. So basically, before the stretch release, we had this configuration. So the unstable was seed, the testing was actually stretch, and the stable was Jesse. And after the release, so stretch was promoted to the new stable, and the testing got a new name, which is Buster, and the seed is always seed. These dates is usually well coordinated, have as a fixed date, but there's no release, a specific date to a new release. So if we could read in the release.debian.org the following phrase, so as always, Debian 9 stretch will be released when it's ready. That means that when the community thinks that the version is ready to be released, so it will be released. So it can take a long time, or it can be really fast. So the stable release is supported by the security team for around 3 years, and plus 2 years by the long-term support, which are actually volunteer companies and not part of Debian. So stable release is supported by around 5 years. So there are also other repositories as the experimental, which is not a real release because it's not self-contained. You cannot use it standalone on the experimental because it has incomplete packages and dependencies. It's just used to get feedback from other people about the work you are doing, Debian Developer is doing. There's also the backport repository that have packages from other repositories, for example, the unstable or testing, adapted to work with the stable release. There are also updates, old stable, that is the old Jesse. And several others. There is a nice picture from the Collab Maintain website, where you can see an overview of all the repositories. So in red, we have the development repositories that contain packages still in development, like experimental, unstable, and test proposed updates. In yellow, the package is still in testing phase, so testing proposed updates. In green, production, so you have the stable, which is stretch, back parts, stable updates, and security. The deprecated or in long-term, but still in long-term support, that old stable, which is Jesse now, and unsupported archive. So here we can see the paths where a package can go from one repository to another. Okay, so maintaining a package. So basically, there is this post of the Debian maintainer, which can, it's a person that have the permission to submit package to the Debian repositories, but is not an official member of the project. And the Debian developer, as I mentioned before, is an official member of the project. He has the right to vote and be a project candidate, project leader candidate. They have access to the servers, depend on the team you are working on. They can propose and vote in general resolutions and amendments for to overrule a decision of the project leader, for example, or to make changements in the social contract, for example. But if you want to contribute, but you are not a Debian maintainer or you're not a Debian developer, you can do so by using a sponsor. So actually, a sponsor is a Debian maintainer or a Debian developer that will help you to get your package inside Debian. So you want to contribute with the project, then you can go to this channel in our IRC, Debian-Mentors at OFTC, and ask for help if someone wants to help you and sponsor your package to get inside Debian. So basically, to become a Debian developer, the expected path is you become a sponsor. You start contributing. You start contributing, maintaining a package through a sponsor. Then you apply to be a Debian maintainer, and then when you gain more experience with the community, you apply to be a Debian developer. Right. So debugging tracking system. So the debugging tracking system, you can check on this link, bugs.debian.org. Debian doesn't use bugging tracking system only for bugs, but also to do some kind of requests like features or ask for help. Each bug is usually filed against a specific package, and there's an email interface, and you can use this tool, report bug, in your Debian system to report bug against some software, for example, and it will generate an email in the right format for you. So, for example, this is an email to report a bug against the package hello. So you say hello, it says goodbye, and the version of the package, a description of the problem, the log of the error, what do you want to be done, and a little bit of your system information. But sometimes you want to report some problems that are not, doesn't have a package associated with it. For example, if you have some problems with some mirror, there's a list of sudo package and these links that you can use to attach your bug to. So you can use the general sudo package if you don't know where to fire your bug against you. Mirrors for problems with mirrors, ftp.debian.org for problems with the FTP systems, upgrade reports, problems with upgrading from one version to another, sponsorship requests So if you want someone to help you maintaining a package, if you're not a Debian maintainer or Debian developer. And there's a special one that I'm going to comment, is WNPP, Work Needing and Prospective Package. So usually a package is associated with a maintainer or a team, or the package is orphan. So this WNPP, the Work Needing in Perspective, is a pseudo package that you can use to manage who is responsible for which package. And you can file a bug against this pseudo package and use some tags in the email subject like ITP is intent to package, that you are telling the community that you found a really nice software in GitHub, for example, and wants to package this software. And so you tell the community that you intend to package this software. So other people also willing to package this software will see that you are already working on that to avoid double work. Orphan, you can use the O tag to orphan a package. Let's say you are tired to maintaining a package and doesn't want to work on that anymore, so you just abandon the package there. And request for adoption, that is you are a nice person and you just adopt an orphan package. Request for help, you are really busy and wants to request for help from other people to maintain this package, or request for a package that is it's really near to ITP. You found a really nice software, but you don't want to do all the job of maintaining. Just said that you are interested in the software. So, for example, this is it's really hard to read, but this is a bug report from the web interface for the bug track system. It's against the package WNPP and has the intent to package requests for packages here of the BB bike software. Okay, so how you can contribute with the community? You can help with documentation, with translation, doing testing, so filing bug reports, sending and reviewing patches that other people, reviewing patches from other people, maintaining a package, helping other newbies, as I am trying to do, and I hope it was useful, helping with donations, or adopting an orphan package. You can check a list of orphan packages in that debian.org/dev/debianpp/orphanet. There is a huge list of orphanet packages there, including the DIA for a diagram editor that I used to use in university. I found it really useful, and it's there all alone waiting for someone to adopt it. Okay, so Debian and Ubuntu, some people think they are competitors, but actually Ubuntu is based on Debian. It's a little bit, the focus is different. So Ubuntu only supports x86, AMD64, and PowerPC architectures. There are around 2,000 packages maintained by Canonical, and there are less number of developers. And the Ubuntu community actually incentivizes Debian development because in its release cycle, they just get the rest of the package that the Canonical doesn't maintain directly from the Debian unstable repository. So indirectly, a Debian developer is also an Ubuntu developer. And you can check more information in these links if you're interested. And well, that was all that I wanted to share with you. Well, this is my email. If you are just starting, I can help you to get started. Or if I cannot help you and collaborate, we have a lot of Debian maintainers. I can find someone to help you. And well, thank you very much. And if you have some questions. So I believe most of you are not newbies. But
Hi, everyone. My name is Fabian Rodriguez. Thank you so much for your talk. I just wanted to make an invitation to any Quebec users. There is a domain name now registered, Debian.Quebec, which you can use as a shortcut. It will bring you to the wiki where we have a bunch of information. There's a local users mailing list. And probably the hardest to find was initially the information on how to set up the local mailing list. If anyone is visiting from other countries, other regions, areas, feel free to get in touch with us. Everything we documented on the wiki, so if anyone has to go through that process again, they can do it easily, or we can guide you. I'll be here all week, and I'll be happy to meet other leads or people putting together other people around Debian elsewhere. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Helen. I am a newbie, and I get a lot of help from forums and whatnot, and I think it's great, and I look forward to the day I can contribute back. So I was wondering, what does one needs to know to be able to start helping packaging stuff?
Well, there is a tutorial for packaging. It's quite technical, so I didn't present it here. I put a basic structure of a package here, for example, to package a simple bash script. And you first do a package, and then you enter in this here. You can go to the IRC and ask for help from a sponsor that will help you to get your package inside the Debian community.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for your talk. Really appreciated it. Feedback on the question asked by you. If sometimes it's too much to maintain your own package, just start from scratch with a new package, get your new software in. If you have some package you like and you see it could be sort of improved in Debian, look at who's the maintainer or look who's the maintainer team, contact those people and ask actually if they need help. And they certainly say yes. So that could be a way socially getting into the group team of package maintainers and also getting into it technically.
Yeah, you could also adopt an orphan package that the work is already there. You just need to go there and test and maybe update to a newer version. There are a huge list of orphaned packages, and you could maybe start there and ask who was the previous maintainer, and maybe ask for some help from the previous maintainer. And that's a path.
Thank you for your talk. I think it was a little bit understatement to say newbie's guide, because you didn't make the impression to be a newbie. It was quite professional. But to answer this question also a bit, we try, in my team, we try to get upstream developers of some software to teach packaging, because they know the software very good, and we know how to package, and then who knows to program the software will be able to package, because it's writing tiny pieces of code. So you just need to find your friends in Debian, and then you will be able to manage packaging. Another thing is what I would have liked to hear from you. It's how you came to Debian. What was your kind of initial step to Debian? And I really got the idea now. If you want to answer this question, how you came to Debian, please write me an email to tille@debian.org. I have a similar talk on Friday about two persons, how they came to Debian. One is me and one is somebody else. And I would like to add some other motivations. Why do you use Debian and not something else? This would be really interesting to know, and maybe I present some of the answers. So please write to tille@debian.org. I will write on the email list again about this.
Well, I can just explain a little really fast how I came to Debian. So I would like to see security boot working in Debian. So I got the the bugs reports, and I try to understand it. And I saw that there is a team for that. And I found the IRC channels, and I entered that, and I asked around what is missing to get this bug done, and I try to help. There are some scripting missing, so I try to write those scripts and send to the maintainers and see if things go forward, and that's how I started.
As a member of that team, thank you very much for getting involved. Have you got into maintaining any packages in Debian yet?
No, I did some packaging, but I didn't went through the process of maintaining any package yet.
Okay, cool. Shout if you need help with it.
Okay, thank you.
Does anyone has another question? No? Okay. So Helen, thank you very much for this nice Debian guide.
Thank you for coming.